Founded in 2008, Borrow has risen quickly to become the preferred personal asset lender. In these times of economic hardship, Borrow offers a much-needed facility, enabling people to use their valuables to raise finance for both personal and business purposes. With no credit checks and a very quick turnaround time for all loan applications, it is becoming an effective form of alternative finance at a time when banks are increasingly reluctant to lend money.
Borrow provides short-term loans secured by personal assets. Those assets include things like jewellery, watches, fine art, fine wines, antiques, sculptures, prestige cars. We've even done loans against boats and planes. It enables people to get liquidity using assets they previously haven't been able to use in the past.
The business model in itself is not necessarily new. However, what we have been able to do, or what Borrow has done, is actually bring it up to date and offer it in a really compelling proposition with a high quality service.
An essential part of Borrow's business model is the ability to obtain accurate appraisals of a wide class of assets. As the value of these assets is the only collateral Borrow has against the loan, it is vital that these appraisals reflect an asset's true market worth.
We are now loaning against items which you don't find in the marketplace. Nobody else is really loaning against art and antiques, and especially not at the kind of rates that we're offering and with the kind of service that we're offering.
So we've got a team of 5 valuers who have all worked for the big auction houses, Sotheby's, Christie's, Bonhams or Phillips basically. And those guys are experts in all the different asset classes that we lend against. So they are experts on fine art, they're experts on jewellery, they're experts on watches. And they can basically ascertain whether or not something is authentic and put a value on it.
We will value an item based on its open market worth. We will look at all of the figures and how much they're making at auction. We will then feed that information back to our customer sales team, who will then respond to the customer.
But it is the ethical standards that Borrow brings to its operation that is making such an impact with borrowers and financial intermediaries that are increasingly recommending its service. With an emphasis on customer communication and transparency, customers are allocated a personal account manager should they wish to speak to anyone during the period of their loan.
Thank you ever so much for that, Chris.
Communication with the customer is absolutely key through the whole process. We have realised that, especially when we have a lot of our sales coming through third parties, wealth managers, private bankers, other commercial brokers, it's important for us to have an ongoing and an immediate dialogue with the end customer, because ultimately this is their personal asset and that has a monetary value to it, also an emotional value to that particular asset.
We offer a completely free service at the beginning where we give valuations, we will even visit customers, and all of this is completely free. There's no obligation, and if they decide to proceed with the loan, they have full support from the main sales team at any point throughout the loan to talk through their options and find out exactly where they are in the loan.
Any customer actually gets allocated a specific person who will be the person that will deal with them all the way through the transaction process. We found that's very, very important. It's one of the reasons why we're getting such high advocacy levels amongst our client base.
As Borrow seeks to develop long-term relationships with its customers, it values the importance of being flexible. It does all it can to accommodate any change in circumstance should a customer be unable to repay a loan, and will only sell an asset as a last resort after thorough consultation with the customer.
These are people's personal assets which has the monetary and an emotional value too. If on the unforeseen circumstances at the end of the term a customer cannot pay back, then it's our responsibility, working with the customer, to actually dispose of the asset at the highest value possible.
We do have the odd situation where there's a shortfall on the amount that we need to recover when a loan kind of goes overdue, but we never ever go after the customer for that shortfall. So the customer's got complete peace of mind if it does default, that they don't owe us anything else beyond the asset they've already put into our possession.
With this effective cap on liability, it is no wonder that Borrow is being increasingly recognized in the financial industry as one of the best sources of alternative lending. This not only helps develop trust and confidence in the Borrow brand, but is leading to an increased amount of referral business.
It's extremely important that Borrow is now endorsed by the financial services. It fills the clients with a lot of confidence that finance professionals are recommending us.
If you look at the numbers from last month, about 35% of our loans came through financial intermediaries. And I expect that to increase slightly over the next 6 to 9 months and then plateau around the 50% level.
Given the immediate success of Borro's business model, it is no surprise that it has now replicated this growing business in the U.S. market. With a responsible approach to lending by capping liability and being flexible with customers, it looks set to become the alternative lender of choice in the U.S. and beyond.